Shh. Bad reboot. Good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is, where you is. I'm Tom Connors. With me is Six. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Just got home from a really good movie. How are you?
Oh, peachy. Also joining us is Collaborating Times. How you doing, friend?
Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me here. Hello out there in the chat. And the wonderful Six. It is always lovely to see you and hang out.
You as well, Clappy.
And yeah, we're here. I wasn't sure if we are going to do a show. I was supposed to go see Jurassic World, but didn't get a chance. But you did see it, Six.
I did.
So you enjoyed it, though, you said.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good action movie that happened to have dinosaurs in it. And I'm a
Jeff
huge
Goldblum.
Jurassic. Yeah, and Jeff Goldblum. He was not at his peak, but that's okay. Sam Neill and Laura Dern were wonderful. But
does Laura Dern have like 50 feminist lines in this one too, like the first one?
She has none. She has
surprised.
None. There's no. I didn't see any wokeness, and I was trying to look for it, but
Wow.
I didn't see any. It was a lot of fun. If you're a big Jurassic Park fan, I think it's a must see, but not necessarily in the theater. I don't think seeing it in the theater added anything to the experience. So.
Well, there you go.
Sounds like it might be fun enough, though, for a summer popcorn flick. Yeah. Other than that,
Definitely a popcorn flick.
There's been some shakeups in Warner Brothers and Disney, but I don't know how much we're going to get into that so much as Ezra Miller is just trying to get himself fired and canceled, I swear to God. Well, this is actually less his doing in this respect, because an individual come out and claim that Ezra has been drugging and grooming their underage child, who is now happens to be 18. So I don't know how deep we're going to get into that part, but Stephanie pointed out a recent interview with the gentleman. We get to see how he is just completely not there, let's say. So we're going to take a look at that and kind of assess the damages at this point of where we're at. And because I mean, it's getting to this point where I know Warner doesn't want to have to spend the money to reshoot Flash for the 5th time. But they might just have to spend the money to or just say, fuck this noise and scrap it.
Movie.
Exactly. The only thing is, like, just release the Michael Keaton scenes and we're good.
Yeah.
You know, just put them out
Change
there.
the name of it.
we don't need a movie. Just let us see the scenes so we just kind of get that little moment of rush of, oh, it's Michael Keaton in the bat suit.
Well, they keep turning their head about it, and I think that they're hoping that he'll just stop and it'll just go away. But now it's to the point where they should be embarrassed.
Exactly.
And I think they've realized that they should be embarrassed that they've let it go on for so long without making a statement, without doing anything.
I agree with you, Six. I think that's the bigger point here is that, yeah, it's not their fault he's acting this way. So, I mean, as far as we know, but you're right. Like the fact that they have not acknowledged it, haven't gone out of their way to even go and do some like public, like the kid's going to therapy and we're going to make sure he gets this done and we're behind him and all that. Even that I could respect, right? Mm-hmm. But at this point, the damage has been done. He clearly has an issue that needs to be taken care of, and they're not doing it, or he's not doing it. He doesn't have a support system. That's clear.
They're supporting his bad habit.
Well, or you're right, Six, exactly. Or they're supporting his bad habits. And then you have the recent issue where this is a very damning accusation, right? Like this is, and I don't even like to talk about this kind of a thing because this kind of goes outside of our purview, but the only reason it comes up is we've been dealing with this kid for a couple of years now with his shenanigans, and I think that this is enough is enough because it's kind of hard not to believe these accusations at this point. We're going to watch a video that makes it even more believable as far as I'm concerned, that in the very least this kid is not all there. So yeah, we'll get into that. We got a super chat here from Nicholas Horton who says, I'll say it again. Universal did what Disney failed to do. Bringing back the original cast together. Learn from them, Disney. There you go. We talked a little bit about it before the show, and it sounds like those who are fans of the original film should enjoy this one for the most part. So we'll see how the audience reacts.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely 10 ways to Sunday to poke holes in it, but it was just fun.
So you're saying if you were a fan of the original film, you're good. Unlike a certain movie from 2015, you'll actually get to see the characters that you remembered that you liked. You'll get to actually, that will be not you won't be cheated out of that. That's what you're saying.
No, they wrapped it up. There was closure. It was It was just a nice, heartwarming. There was one point where I almost teared up, but I don't have really a heart at all, so I didn't. But it was good. It wasn't great, but it was really good.
It just has to be better than the last one at this point.
It was not as good as Top Gun.
Well, there you go.
I agree with Steph about that. I hate what they did. I hate it in the third film with what they did to Alan and Ellie. Them being, them having been broke up and stuff like that. I mean, I thought the third movie was okay. Joe Johnston directed it. Was not that bad, but I didn't like that aspect of it at all either. I agree with that.
Yeah, I like aspects of the third one. I like that there was things that they didn't get to in the original novel that they incorporated into it, and it's a believable-ish story. Just some of the goofy shit in there, and of course that movie has a notorious history for being the reason why Joe Johnston refuses to work for Kathleen Kennedy ever again. But
that makes sense.
Because I guess she was part of the problems on that production. But Night of Snoke has a question here. Says, are there any lost rare films, TV shows, books, movies, and games that you hope have be found? Because I can help look for them. I don't know if I will succeed, but I will try. Oh, there's tons. Unfortunately, a lot of the lost media that I'm basically, if it's out there and it's available in most cases, unless there's some kind of licensing issue getting in the way, they'll usually make it available. But like for me, the original HD prints, the 16 millimeter or 35 millimeter prints of Masters of the Universe cartoon would be great, but those are lost as far as we know. There's a lot of masters for films that are lost. I mean, it's one of those things. Another example is the movie Ben, the sequel to Willard. They can't find the original negative.
Really? Didn't it run in syndication for years?
Yeah. So when Shout Factory put out their Blu-ray a few years back, it's just off a 35 millimeter print from the time, and it's looks like shit. But they said they couldn't find the original negative anymore. So
what's Ben?
Wow.
Ben is the sequel to Willard. You ever heard the song Ben by Michael Jackson?
Yeah. Isn't that about a rat?
Yes, that's what it's from. Yes.
Okay.
They remade Willard back 20-something years ago.
And they ruined it. It could have been one of the greatest remakes of all time.
Made by Morgan and Wong, the guys who did most of the best of the X-Files. But it was just poison.
Well, and the problem with it was the reshoots and the PG-13 cut. I don't know if you've seen the original version. The original version of that film is basically like the original movie, just darker.
I saw it at the theater one time.
Yeah. Oh, they ruined it. They ruined it. The original ending was all there. It was all intact. Even Arlie Emery was great.
Arlie Emery was in it. Yeah.
They cut out all his best lines.
Oh, shite.
Because of all the F words and stuff. There was an R-rated cut of that movie, and I saw it, and it's excellent, but they didn't release it in theaters. Hey, Valiant, how you doing?
VR, what's up, dude?
How y'all doing?
Hey, man.
Other than that, I mean, there's tons, I'm sure, out there that people would love to find, but
and probably shows. So you remember when they can't do it at cons anymore, but cons used to have tables full of dealers selling boots and stuff, bootlegs of all kind of stuff like that. And now most of the big cons won't allow that anymore.
The closest thing I got to a bootleg right now would be my Star Wars Christmas special that a fan
was on
sent
every
me.
boot table. Yeah,
and and I've got that Fantastic Four. I don't know
that was also on the bootleg tables. Yeah.
It seems semi-legit almost, though. That's the thing, because the guys who made the documentary released it, but it's a real shitty copy of the movie. But
of course,
it's the best we're gonna get.
But there are a lot of stuff. There was a time when if you wanted to see an old series that didn't last very long, that you remembered as you were younger or whatever, you could go to the con, the upcoming con, and there'd be 2 or 3 tables loaded with bootlegs of even old cartoons, old TV shows that were rare, the short-lived, and even movies. And like I say, I think that's gone now.
The internet kind of ruined that, right? Because you can pretty much get. I mean, because yeah, I'm sure like the old pilot for the Justice League show you could get at some of those conventions.
Yeah, that was that like you mentioned. But the thing is, cons have cracked down on it. They won't let them. I mean, I'm like pretty sure like Dragon Con chased them out. Wizard World Con, I think, chased them out. Stuff. And I used to know a lot of those guys with those tables. You know, I go, man, I've been looking for so and so. Let's see if this guy has it next time at the next con. And I used to get stuff from him, and I miss that.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Charlie. Yep, the 1990 show that never got off the ground. It was kind of a spin-off of Flash, but wasn't.
It was pretty bad.
It was bad. So Valiant, how you doing, my friend?
Good. Just getting a few things together. I'm going on with well, not going on, but recording with WDW Pro in about an hour. He's over at Jurassic World Dominion right now. Actually, he just texted me. That was
Lucky.
The ding. Well, not really. That was the ding. As soon as I got on, he was texting me. He's like, "This is horrible. This is." He's in the movie. He's like, "This is just bad." I'm like, "Well, I guess the critic reviews were right, shanking it at a 35%."
6 liked it.
Yeah. 6 liked it. I'm like, "Oh Lord."
I trust 6.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I'll put it this way. It's one of these things to where I think if you're just going in there and you want to see dinosaurs and stuff running around destroying stuff, it's probably a bunch of fun. That's the impression I've gotten. I've got tickets for Friday night. There's no way I wasn't going to see this movie because Renegade Jr. he has to see it. And I'm really curious too. I hope it's better than what people are saying. I am going to go see it. Again, dinosaurs blowing stuff up, crushing stuff, awesome. I just hope the story's good. I hope they don't waste the opportunity of having Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern and these people back and give it a good story. But I keep people that see it keep telling me that it's
Well, I didn't see that last one, but I couldn't stand that first one with Chris Pratt. Even though
Fallen Kingdom was bad. Was just bad.
I didn't see that one. The one before it was terrible. I thought so. I didn't bother.
I referred to it as Jurassic World Fallen franchise.
Yeah. Sherry saw it. Hey, Sherry. And she gave it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10? That's not too bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Better than the last one. It sounds
hopefully
like.
it's just for the, the eye candy. And again, I understand this is, it's Jurassic Park. Since the first movie, they've basically become eye candy movies, for, by and large. I did like the original Jurassic World from 6-7 years ago, whatever it was now. Yeah, so I'll find out tomorrow night. Going to the late show tomorrow night. But anyway, Pro and I are going to be recording in about 45 minutes or an hour when he gets home, talking about this Peter Rice thing with Disney, because there's a lot going on there. So that's what's up with me.
Cool.
Yeah, so what's your take on that situation?
This is the opening salvo of The Revenge of Chapek. Peter Rice is he is one of the, if not the, woke kingmakers at Disney. I mean, he has attachments to the Walter Keitz Foundation, where he sits as the board. The Walter Keitz Foundation is a foundation dedicated towards equity and diversity in the Hollywood entertainment industry, putting more of it in. That organization is responsible when we talk about all the quote-unquote woke stuff in Hollywood. That organization is one of the people at the forefront. And also Peter Rice was one of the guys that were in line, quote unquote, to replace Chapek. And he was the guy that the Hollywood wokey wokes were trying to get Chapek fired and have him replaced with Rice. And just like the line from Dune, never get more popular than the boss unless you intend to sack him. Well, Chapek said, see ya. From what I've heard, the meeting lasted 7 minutes. He called him in, basically said, pack your shit and go. He was straight fired. This was not a non-renewal. They had renewed him last year, which I don't know if Chapek was part of so much as it was Robert Iger. And, Robert Iger, just like we talked about with Kennedy last year, I think that gave her some cover. I think that gave Peter Rice some cover. He came over from Fox. And this, I think once the line got crossed a couple of months ago, when all the stuff in Florida went down about the Florida bill, House Bill 1557, I think that was the end of it. I think Peter Rice was one of the architects of the Disney walkout, along with Tondra Newton. But it's much easier to fire Peter Rice because he's a white man than it is to terminate Tondra Newton in that entire diversity department at Disney because she's a black woman. So I think Rice is the opening salvo here, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the video tomorrow.
All right, so there's the lowdown on that situation. Other than that, the big thing we're going to talk about today is Ezra Miller. So what have you heard, or what's your take? I'll get everybody's take on this, but we'll start with you, Valentine. This whole accusation of grooming and whatnot, and what do you think Warner's goes from here? Do you think they can really ignore this problem anymore?
I think they have two choices right now. They either terminate the film that he's been in, or they spend a buttload of extra money to reshoot the whole thing. And I think it's much more likely with David Zaslav in there, the former rather than the latter. I think you terminate the film. It's just, they're at the point now where they can pull the plug on it before it gets really deep into post-production. And I'm sure they already have. I would be shocked if, they haven't already stopped all post-production on this movie. And just to wait to decide what they're going to do with this trash. But that's where we are. I mean, if I had to guess, if I was in charge writing the checks, that's absolutely what I would do.
Yeah. Klobby, what about you with this Ezra situation? I know we talked a little bit about this already, but go ahead and we'll get into this interview.
What VR said, I can't imagine that. Well, I don't know. They are Hollywood. But it's tough to imagine them not putting the kibosh on this thing. Just get rid of it. Get it over with. Flush it all down the toilet. Never bring it back. Start all over again. Get rid of him. He was a horrible casting anyway before we started hearing all his shenanigans. And now you go, what would they have to hope to gain from this? Nothing. It's a big loss, and they need to write it off.
Light it on fire and piss on the ashes.
Yes, sir. That's all you can do. It's a big loss. You're going to lose either way.
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is shitty parents. Why was he having access to this child when she was 12 years old? I don't understand why people do the things that they do.
Wow, this started that young?
I thought it was 14. Was it 12?
Regardless, I thought it'd be 16,
I
17, not fucking 14 or 12. Jesus fucking Christ.
14 is what I've been reading, but I mean, yeah. And he wants to be referred. This is what's pissing me. The media is going out of their way, or some media, to refer to him as they. Like when they're talking about Ezra, it's like, they began a relationship.
Oh, fuck the respect of that shit.
I'm like, I'm so sick of this. Call him what he is. Freak, loon, pedo. That's what you refer to.
Predator. Call him a fucking predator. Plain and simple.
Exactly.
He doesn't deserve the respect.
I'm so tired of this just arrangement syndrome that goes on in the media with this bullshit. Especially with this pile of donkey water.
Yeah. I don't know. Look,
the first story that I saw that I...
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Six.
The first story that I saw that I sent to you, Tom, was it yesterday morning? Was Daily Mail.
I think so, yeah.
And they're the ones who, it says that they met when she was 12.
Wow.
And he flew her to London when she was 14.
Oh,
so he started this relationship when she was 12.
How was he able to fly her? Wow. That's on her fucking parents, man. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's...
Look at this psycho, though, here.
Yeah, I mean, look, even if he didn't do all this stuff, he was a horrible casting, and that movie was never going to make any money. I don't care if Michael Keaton or whoever's in it.
I agree.
He doesn't look like a superhero.
No.
He certainly doesn't look like Barry Allen.
No.
Maybe part Allen, but even that. But yeah, he was just, I mean, obviously, if none of this had happened, it might have done okay because of Keaton, but the whole film really is not him anyway. So this was dead anyway. It was a dumb idea from the beginning. It just now it's toxic waste.
I hear you. All right. Well, let's take a look at some of this interview. This is actually from. It was posted by Jertsy Flaw, who I assume is an interviewer. I don't know where she's from. But this looks like it was filmed on the press junket for Fantastic Beasts. And in the description, all it says is, I tried to interview troubled actor Ezra Miller, and it was probably the most uncomfortable interview I ever did. And she posted this today. As you can see, it's not very many people have seen it even. As I said, Stephanie brought this to my attention, so thank you, Stephanie Janisek, for that. So let's check this out. He is just out there. This would have been, so just for some time perspective, this would have been just before he got busted in Hawaii, around that period. So within that region, maybe not the same day or week necessarily, but in that area.
We're in a sea of symbols. What does anything represent, babe? Have you figured it out? I'm really struggling.
Okay.
Pay attention. My hands are bright red. We're all on a concourse straight to death, so it doesn't really matter.
Kirsty covering for Norway and Germany.
Kirsty covering for
Wow.
Norway and Germany. This one person represents two very different countries. They're very different, and I don't understand how you represent both of them, but it's cool, and I'm ready to answer all your questions. I guess there are kind of common roots of ancestry in certain lights, sort of taking a broad scope view on history, but that's not the point of the interview.
What is wrong with one side of his head?
He cut it off.
I don't know, but I want whatever fucking drug he's on.
Wow.
God.
This dude is.
Yikes.
What drug is that? Semen?
Ecstasy?
Semen.
That was fantastic.
Oh.
I was gonna say, I don't know any woman who acts like that after she's done a blowjob. She's usually like, bleh, or whatever, but like, yeah.
Davis's father was in the Navy.
Go that far.
I'm just picking.
Davis's father was in the Navy. He was a seaman.
I still feel it. Have you
Like
have you
the
done
Harry
it?
Potter world itself. I mean, muggles think they can step, but it'll make you nauseous. Portkeys make you nauseous. Flu Networks is going to make you nauseous. You want to apparate with someone, you're going to get nauseous.
You make everyone.
Pretty much nausea is guaranteed.
Your
You wanna
haircut
go
makes
see
me
this
nauseous.
movie, you're going to love it. It's the best film you've ever seen, and it's going to make you feel great almost the entire time. But at one point or another, guess what?
Except,
You're going to get nauseous.
yeah,
for
except
fuck's
nobody
sake.
saw
You
it.
like
The
stuff
film
like
made
that going
people
on crazy
nauseous.
rides.
I can't even talk tonight. God damn it. This
Wow.
idiot.
We're barely a minute into this thing, and this guy's gone full on fucking just wackadoo. Yeah, that's a good question, Sandra. I'm not sure. Come Kane. That's more like it, yes.
God.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Hey, Snow. Okay, so yeah, there's 3 more minutes of this shit.
Are you like
man,
adrenaline?
I'm a huge nausea fan.
Nausea fan?
I mean, the band
Nausea
and
fan?
the feeling in the stomach.
So when people meet you now, or like especially kids maybe, are they like, is this the Flash? Is it Credence? Or are they kind of like, what? How do they approach you?
How to approach myself. You're talking about my internal process, but
Oh, for fuck's sake.
who I am.
Wow.
You're stupid. Pay attention. That's what a kid said to me once. There was like a 3-year-old who just looked at me and was like, "Pay attention." And I was like, "You are absolutely right."
I wouldn't want my child
What the
around
fuck
him.
was that?
This is
Oh,
painful.
boy. Wow.
What the what a 3-year-old has to tell you to pay attention? What kind of stupidity are you doing? I don't believe the story, but I'm just saying, I mean,
Right. This guy's he's out there.
oh geez, Billy, don't go there. Depends on if it was a girl or not.
Where did you come from, you wise little sage? Who gave you all these knowledges and powers? I guess it was God. And then he hit me.
What?
And he knocked my head 3/4 of the way off my body, like nearly headless Nick, and that's why I have this terrible scar. You see it?
Oh my god.
You can't see it?
No, I can't see it.
Oh.
I believe you.
I mean, my hands are bright red.
Yeah, what happened to the?
It's probably from that incident, though, because it changed a lot about my life.
Okay, so it's actually 20 years since the first
Yeah.
book came out.
Wow.
Yes, that is a long time
Making
ago.
me feel old. Well, we're all on a concourse straight to death, so it doesn't really matter.
For you now, you
Mecha J asks, is he stoned or just stupid in this interview? I'm gonna go with both.
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 Definitely both. He thinks he's cool as fuck right now, though.
Yeah, whatever he's on has him on cloud 9. That's for sure. No other comments. I'm surprised. Not really.
No, it's
No,
it's
I'm
all.
just kidding. No, I'm just
No, it's more than 3 minutes left, so we had to make the best out of it.
Yeah. Did you eat? But it's like how you say what's up. Did
Oh,
you eat?
and you were speaking Korean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
dude. What do you think I'm speaking?
I'm sorry.
The
I thought
gibberish
maybe-
that I usually speak in
maybe it was
interviews.
some
That's
secret-
fair.
But maybe it was
But
some
that's
secret
not
magical.
true. That's true.
Who was
That's
sitting
a
next to
language.
him?
It's not gibberish. It's Korean.
Okay.
Obviously, one of his co-stars from the film, I would assume.
God, I'm so glad I
Yeah.
had to step away from this for a minute. It was giving me dick cancer.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's my brain is broken.
Gave
Wow.
it crystal to Don, and he still has it.
To who?
To Don.
Oh, Don Fogler.
Yeah, he still has it in his pocket
Don.
today.
Don. No.
It's Dan Fogler.
No.
I hate when he turns his head and have to see that
You
patch
said-
on his head.
No, I said that he still has it, and then
something
you
about
gave.
energy.
No, yeah, the crystals. What do they represent? Are they like
What
lucky
do
charms?
crystals represent?
Yeah. Now
What do you
how?
mean? They're a part of the earth. What,
Yeah,
what
but
does
why-
the
what-
earth represent? What do you represent? We're in a
Oh,
sea of
shut
symbols. What
up,
does anything
dude.
represent,
What?
babe? Have you figured it out? I'm really struggling. What do crystals represent?
Yeah, to you.
Oh, well, they're semiconductive. You see?
Oh
I love
God,
the word
dude!
conductor.
Wow.
He is so fucking
It's the greatest
stoned.
word in the world.
God.
Conductor. It just sounds
You know what?
good.
Thank God this whole movie series ended because
Yeah.
it was killing Dan Fogler's career. I mean, thank God.
No
he got
shit.
thank God he got on the offer playing.
Oh
Francis
God,
Ford
he's
Coppola.
brilliant on that. I'm
Jesus,
so
he's
upset.
good
There's
in that.
only one episode left.
I hated his character in these damn Harry Potter movies. They are the Fantastic Beasts movies. I'm sorry, they sucked. They all three of them
I
sucked.
know.
They
Fucking.
started out bad and they got worse. I didn't even bother with the third one. I knew nobody else did either. Why it lost 150 million.
Isn't it on Disney Plus or HBO Max already?
Yeah, it just went on I think last week. But I still haven't watched it, and I have no plans to. It's free now,
Mecca-
and I refuse to watch it.
Mecha J, we have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. If we knew, we'd try to interpret it for you guys.
She's
Yeah,
trying to
more
ask
like-
him about the movie, and he just doesn't even know what.
He's just off the wall.
He
Yeah.
doesn't remember anything about the movie. She's trying to,
And
be
Steven brings up a
professional.
great point. And these are the assholes who talk down to us. Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dan Fogler's looking at this going, well, thank God this is over.
Oh, I know. Did you hear? Like, I watched the 9th episode of The Offer. I'm so upset. There's only one left.
I still have 25 minutes left in the episode from today, so don't tell me anything. I stopped to come on here.
It's getting to that point. And you're like, it's ending. It's like, no.
You knew
But,
that chick was Apollonia as soon as she walked in the office.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
That's awesome.
Thursday.
I loved it. I loved it.
Conductor.
You gonna say it?
Okay.
See, it's free to anyone.
What the
can say
fuck
it.
is on his
And
hands?
It means these different things.
Some
Why does it
paint.
mean
The
all
same
this
shit
stuff?
that's on his shirt, I think. I have no
Kids don't know
idea.
who I am.
Yeah. I don't know what to fucking say to this shit.
If Paramount is really stupid enough to release this movie, or I mean Warner Brothers.
Warner
excuse
Brothers.
Me. If Warner Brothers is really stupid enough to release this movie, they deserve everything they get from it. Absolutely everything they get from it.
which won't be much. I mean, as far as profit.
No, I'm talking about
I know.
forget the money they won't make. I'm talking about the
Yeah,
backlash.
no, it's
Gino X 1987 says Ezra reminds me of that drug dealer you come across at 7-Eleven after midnight. No, Ezra is the crackhead that comes up to that drug dealer and says, "I
Exactly.
will suck your dick."
Hey
That dealer
man,
can-
you got some CDs you selling?
I got a VHS player.
The dealer can probably hold a conversation. Ezra can't.
Exactly my point. This is the guy who comes up and says he'll suck his dick for some fucking crack.
He would. This motherfucker has.
I'll just
I
suck your
guarantee
dick. You don't need to give me the crack.
Yeah.
Oh,
They has.
They totally has.
They totally
It
has.
has.
God,
Wow.
Lord Almighty.
Mental bullshit.
I mean, this guy needs some help, and I've gotten past the point where he needs help for himself, but he needs help for other people now more than anything. I think people are right. Like it's only a matter of time before he does something I mean, he may have already with this accusation he has out there. Let's be clear.
The only legitimate connection that he has to the DC universe is that this is the only motherfucker that actually belongs in Arkham.
There you go. I like it. That's a good one, dude.
Thanks, folks.
I think that's the show, kids.
I'm going to sign off.
I don't think we can top that.
I don't know. You might want to throw Hack Snyder in there for
You know what's sad is that he probably could have made a good Joker. You know, that's the weird thing is
he wouldn't even have to act.
No, I know that's the thing. He probably would have made a decent Joker, better than fucking Jared Leto,
who also belongs in Arkham. But yeah.
And then some. He probably has an island in Arkham.
Yeah, yeah. This is man. I didn't think I'd hate Snyder anymore. And every time I hear this guy talk and see he cast this guy as the Flash,
somebody said it. Now I'll add to that. There's the next YouPorn special. Ezra Miller and Kevin Spacey in filling the title.
Well, there you go. You get a movie starring Ezra Miller, Amber Heard, and Kevin Spacey. You're right. I think that would be a winner.
Perfect.
Right there.
Do it.
Get it, guest starring appearance by Bill Cosby, and you're good to go.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Bill Cosby's pudding pops.
I was putting my pudding pops where it didn't belong. Nah. Oh, Lord, Ezra. Lord
See, and
Almighty.
you almost didn't stream tonight.
I almost didn't stream tonight. Ian Carrolls is here and says, the only thing I liked about the first Fantastic Beasts film was that the 20s noir mixed with magic could have done a Maltese Falcon in the wizarding world. Yeah, I was never much of a Harry Potter head to begin with, so I really never got into that stuff, but it sounds like it's a disappointing run now for those who actually kind of enjoyed it, so sad they had to allow it to go down this way. I never finished the first Harry Potter film.
The first one?
I love the Harry Potter ones.
Yeah, even Jack Nicholson is like,
Harry Potter, not
tone it down, Ezra. You gotta chill a little bit, buddy. Yeah, if Jack Nicholson's gonna be one to tell you that shit, that'd be funny. Oh, Lord Almighty. I don't know what else to say.
That you just can't wait for the Flash. You hope they go ahead and just
can't wait. Honestly, you want to know the truth?
I hope they do.
I want to see how much of a train wreck this movie is.
Who does?
Seriously.
Somebody it'll get let out eventually, like on HBO Max or something. I don't think they'll ever put it in theaters.
They can't afford not to at this point, Valiant. You know, we've joked with Cameron about the whole won't they release Indiana Jones 5? Like, this is a point where they have to.
Well, okay, that's a little bit different though. My point is, let's I don't know what the budget, but let's assume on the high side, especially for Warner Brothers, and let's say it's a $200 million thing.
Oh, it's more than that.
Well, maybe so. But
I heard about $258 million just to begin with, and that doesn't count the reshoots.
Well, okay, but how much of that is post-production? If there's $100 million worth in there, which is probably reasonable.
You got to remember they reshot this movie twice already.
Well, maybe so, but I mean, here's the thing. If they put it out, I'm looking long term, right? And that's is it financially better? Is it more financially tenable to just consider this a sunk cost and write it off than actually try to put this thing out there with Ezra Miller all over it and create a nightmare that then sinks the rest of the DC, maybe trying to reinvigorate itself for the next 5 years? That's what I'm looking at as the man writing the checks. If I'm David Zaslav, I'm really looking at this as, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, this is going to be crap, but I'm going to go back to my chief investors. I'm going to go back to the biggest slate of stockholders and say, listen, y'all, we don't have an option here. It's better to write this off and move on than potentially create a multi-year, deficit with what we're trying to do with DC. Now, that's the real question. That's why David Zaslav's getting paid the big bucks right now. That's why he's chopping heads off and taking names. I mean, can't believe Walter Hamada still has an office. But, hey.
I heard he's already out the door.
That's what I've heard too, but there's nothing beneficial. I figured that, they gave him long enough to go ahead and basically be the stooge that had to testify in a deposition at the Depp Heard trial.
Well, I think at that point he had nothing left to lose. That's why.
Exactly. And then after that, it was like, okay, you've done your job. He testified officially as an employee of Warner
You know what
Brothers,
that does? That gives Hamada at
fired.
least a bridge at some point to where if he is a producer somewhere, he might be able to sweet talk Johnny Depp into a job. That's about where he's at with
Perhaps,
that.
yeah.
Goddess of Whim, I agree with you here, though. Ezra can't join the Forever 27 Club, so he's got to do something to be remembered. Sadly, I think you're more on than you think you might be here on this respect. He's headed towards a brick wall, right? And this ends one of two ways. This either ends up with him in prison or dead.
Well, I think he's already hit the brick wall.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's just it. It's like you have two options at this point where this goes from here. Warner has let this go on for far too long, and I agree with you, Valiant, to a point, but they can't afford not to release this movie. Zaslav's already in position where they're scrambling to try and figure out what they're going to do about Amber. This was something they had on the back burner. They knew they had to deal with, but they did not plan for these last 2 or 3 things to come out. I guarantee you that. I mean, of course, nobody ever does, but I mean,
no.
In the respect of this bam, 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 bam shit with him. And I guarantee you this grooming thing is hitting them out of left field.
That was my point, though. So let's assume that they've actually spent. Let's say your figures that you got are correct. Let's say it's somewhere.
It was like 200 and some 50 million just for the original budget, and then they did reshoots, and I think that might be included in that. But then let's say
they did that, but
yeah.
But based on when the movie comes out, I mean, they may not have gotten that far into post-production yet, at least for the really expensive stuff. So at this point, Zaslav could pull the plug on it and maybe save. I mean, they budgeted 250. That does not mean they've spent 250 yet.
Oh, I think they spent more than that.
Well, a lot of that, you probably got at least 100 million plus in post-production on a film like that with special effects and all kind of other shit. So let's say that Zaslav is looking at this and go, well, I can pull the plug on it now and save, even if it's 50 million, 75 million from where we are currently in post-production. And then he's basically then going to save another $100 to $200 million that they would have to spend on P&A to get the movie in theaters, prints and advertising. Because a movie like that, if you're spending 250 plus on a budget like that, you've got to spend 150 million as a floor to market that film. So that's what they haven't spent yet. So if they go forward with this movie, it's not just that they have to actually account for what they have already sunk into the ground. They have to account for finishing post-production and a massive marketing budget. And that's what they're probably looking at going, is this movie worth, at a minimum at this point, of another $150 million that we haven't spent yet? That means that they're going to be all in on this movie for around $400 million. That movie's got to get to close to around $800 million in global box office. Is that going to happen with Ezra Miller in it? If the answer is no, if they assume that the global box office probably won't even breach $500 million, then you have to stop it now, because there's no way you could recover what you're even going to spend on marketing. The marketing cost, you're throwing more good money away after bad at that point. And that's what the actuaries and the accountants in there right now are trying to figure out.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, is where I'm coming from is they have no choice. They almost have to release this movie. It would cripple their stock if they didn't, because they have spent, like, they've reported the original budget was like 100, and I don't believe that.
Do you think people would go see it just because Ezra is such a fucking train wreck?
There's that plausibility, Six. I thought at first that this movie, and I think this is where Warner was banking on, is that Michael Keaton is enough of a draw as returning as Batman that kind of canceled out Ezra at that point. But that was when he'd only, choked a bitch and threw a chair, right? Like, now we're at a point where things are getting a little dicey. And I understand where Valiant's coming from. I think that Zaslav only has one option at this point, and that's what's fucked up. This is going to be one of the most expensive movies in history, kids. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but I'm willing to bet that we hear within the next month or two, they're going back and they're going to reshoot and recast. They've already been looking at other actors to play Flash, although they didn't want that out there.
That's what I was going to say next, was that if they can come up with a plan to where, hey, look, because we don't know what the movie looks like. They may have
to Michael J. Fox this thing.
Yes, exact. The Back to the Future comparison. You're totally right. And that is that they may have to go back and let's assume for a second that a lot of Flash's shots, especially the battle shots, the action shots, are heavily CGI'd. That might be a relatively easy fix to fix the face of the actor because, of course, Ezra's going to have a mask on a lot.
Yeah,
So
in most cases, you really don't see his face really anyway.
Yeah, so they have to go back and reshoot the scenes that involve Flash where we clearly see Ezra's face. I mean, it depends. That's I said we don't have enough information on what the movie looks like, but let's say that they could reshoot all of Ezra's parts. And that's why I'm saying that they have probably almost definitely pulled the plug on post-production right now. Like, I would be shocked if they still release this movie on schedule as it stands now.
Oh, I bet you it's going to get delayed again.
Absolutely.
If it gets delayed again, that to me tells me they are definitely reshooting this thing.
Bingo, exactly. And that's my point. And that is that if they have to go back and reshoot, the Barry Allen not in the Flash suit, you get a new actor to do that. Okay, that's easy enough. They have to bring back Nick Keaton and things like that. But as far as the post-production,
you might not have to.
Battle scenes,
you might be able to thank George Lucas for a lot of that. As long as there's no interaction within the scene, you can almost split out Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Because remember, George Lucas was doing this back with The Phantom Menace. He was picking and choosing different performances from different takes and plugging them into one take. So you can do that now.
Recently with Fast and the Furious, right?
One of them, yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's nothing new.
Diesel and The Rock were never on camera together. They were never
exactly.
On
so that I don't see as a bigger problem. The bigger problem is recasting an entirely different person. If you have to get certain people back, like if there's a scene where they interact or something like that, that is a plausibility where you have to do that. If you get lucky and a stuntman was in a lot of those scenes or something like that, then you could probably get around some of that. Because the thing is I guarantee you Ezra and his people are not going to sign off on you allowing them to use his body and put another head on it. It just ain't going to happen. Right? And that's the cheapest route around this. So what they're going to have to do is reshoot everything. And unlike reshooting Amber's stuff, which is like 10 minutes of the movie, you have multiple versions of Flash in this film. And I've heard, and this has also been talked about out there, and he's in almost every single fucking scene in one shape or form or another. So that's where this is impossible feat at this point. And unfortunately, they have spent too much money on this, and it is too high profile of a film for them not to release it. This is kind of like why I don't agree with Cameron on Indiana Jones. No matter how bad that fucking movie is, they're going to have to release it.
Well, I think at least, maybe I'll clarify, at least they cannot release it in its present state with Ezra.
Exactly. Well, right? They could, but that's where I see people saying, "I'll just throw it on HBO Max." That's like a nuclear option.
Yeah.
Well, that's if they're like, fuck it. They throw their hands in the air and they're just like, we ain't going to spend no more money on this.
Yeah. Well, look, if I'm Zaslav, that might not be the final decision, but that's definitely an option that is on the table right now. They're looking at everything they can do. But if they can figure out that, look, okay, we're already deep into this, but if the number crunchers come back and say, look, the only way to save this at this point is to allocate another $50 million and reshoot all this stuff. We pulled the plug on post-production. We've stopped because, if they'd gone through all of post-production and already sunk that $100 million on that, and then they'd have to go back and spend another $50 million in post-production in addition to another $50 million in reshoots for recasting, that would be bad. But that's why I kept saying, it's like they're at the point now where they can at least mitigate the financial damage. This happened, and I hate to say this, but I know this sounds crazy, but this happened at the right time. If it was going to happen, it happened at the right time.
To a point.
Yeah. I would love to happen before they started shooting, but it didn't. But at least it happened before they got too deep into post-production, at least as far as I can tell.
Well, and Nicholas Horton brings up a point here that a lot of people have said, and I'm going to address this right now. Mm-hmm. Even though the CW Flash show has gone woke and Grant Gustin with his politics, he's still a better Flash than Ezra Weird Miller. This may be true, but WB is never going to do that. No matter how you can get in a petition with 4 million people signing it, and they're still not going to do that for one of many reasons. One, he's already getting too old. Two, he's a TV star who does not have any other real following outside of that. Three, you have the baggage of the show that is already carried with it. So then you're going to have people confused. Is this a continuation of the show? Yeah. Is he playing the same version there? Or is he now playing Ezra Miller's version? It's already confusing enough with this multiverse stuff. that this is another reason why Warner Brothers does not like to allow their A-list characters on television very often, and why they're very picky about when they get to use Batman and stuff like that too, because you get too many of these people and we get confusion. Like right now we're sitting at a point we technically have 3 different Batmen active. We just haven't seen the third one, being Michael Keaton. So we're going to have a point here once the Flash movie finally comes out, until Ben Affleck and Warner Brothers officially says that they are not playing Batman ever again and we have seen the last of him, that we have 3 active Batman. That's the first time in history where we've ever had that happen, to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
The closest being when you had the movies going on and Kevin Conroy playing him on television at the same time.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's about the closest I can think of.
Find a way to get Val Kilmer in there like Top Gun.
I almost got to ask, because it's been a long enough time. What did they do with his voice? Because I seen a shot of him in the film. So he's actually in the film, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's
so
like
how did they fix his voice, or what was the deal there?
They used, you know, it's kind of like they do a lot of times now with modern film, is they took file footage of his voice and tried to recreate it as best they could. And then, of course, now the way it works in the movie, they play into Val Kilmer's actual medical illness.
Like
right?
he had okay.
Yeah. So when Maverick goes to visit him, he's got the scarf around his neck to conceal. This is what Val Kilmer's had in real life. He's had throat cancer. It's very sad. And, he's typing on a computer, talking to Maverick, pointing to a screen, like, look, this is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a moment where they stand up, and then, the character Iceman decides that even though he really can't, he struggles to actually vocalize to Maverick. He speaks to Maverick.
This is what I was curious about, because
it's a raspy whisper. It is his voice. It is Kilmer's voice, but it is in a very raspy, strained whisper. It's a beautiful scene. It's well done.
Well, I was hoping to see it today, but it just didn't work out. But no, I didn't see the whole thing yet, but I watched part of his documentary that he put out, and it's his son who's narrating it, and he sounds just like him.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was his son until after the fact.
A little bit to help with it. If I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah. So all right, so you guys want to let everybody know who was worried about spoilers? You can let them know that's out of the chat now, even though the movie's 3 weeks old.
Well, look, nothing I just said will spoil the film for you. It's not like a massive plot point that's a surprise. I mean, everybody kind of knows at this point he's in it. It's just the technical aspects of how they did it, but it's beautiful. Yeah. It's a wonderful scene.
So yeah, like as far as this Ezra situation, I don't know if Klobby, you or Six has anything more to say about it, but
not really.
No,
except that I'm like you're talking about, it would be hilarious if they were dumb enough to put it out. It would be kind of fun to watch the.
I mean, at this point, they almost have to, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like you can't not. Even if you lose money on it, at least you have that as some kind of write-off at this point. Because if you don't release it, I don't think there's an insurance thing that would cover it. And I agree with you, Kevin Mize. Val's Bruce Wayne was very underrated. He was really good as Bruce Wayne. His Batman was kind of stilted.
Dye his hair though, Jesus Christ, blonde Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, they could have. Idiot. I like that he had his shit together for the most part, right? Like they didn't have this whole, like, oh, my parents shit.
Yeah, but then I hated it at the end. As silly as the movie is anyway, when he wanted to quit again. Just for a woman. I mean, Batman doesn't quit.
Yeah. Well, that's movies. Thank you for that, Kevin Mize. If I'm saying your name right, I hope I'm Kevin Mize or Mize. One of the two, I'm assuming. Thank you for that. And Baked and Salty, how does Ezra get insured? Not anymore, he won't. I guarantee you that.
Insured for what?
To get into a movie, period. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no way they're going to pass him for insurance now. Not after this shit. Gino X 1987 has a request for a video. Do you think Andre could ever cover the news of the fan revival of Sonic Sat AM for third season project? Maybe. We are so behind on shit, you guys. I wish I could say yes. I never say never when it comes to Sonic and stuff like that, though. You never know what Andre's going to come up with. But I will pass this on to him, and in fact, I'll take a screenshot right now so I have it, and then see what he says. I know we haven't been able to do as much Sonic stuff as we had wanted to originally for the newer film, but yeah. Thank you for that request. Kareen says, very well done. So glad they had Val Kilmer in it. Yeah, I mean, at least they made the effort. Unlike, it sounds like Willow. Yeah. So with that, yeah, with this Willow show coming to Disney Plus, what are they going to happen to Val Kilmer's character from the original? I think they're going to kill him off screen. I think the show's going to start with his funeral.
With him dead, yeah, just mention he's gone or something.
Yeah.
Which to me is the cheapest fucking thing you can do unless somebody actually fucking dies in real life.
Right. Yeah.
I hate that when they do that in a show or a movie. It is so bad.
And look, it's not they. This is the thing. Val Kilmer is still here. There's no reason not to bring him back for Willow. If you want to have Mad Mardigan pass, then open the show with that. Have Val Kilmer as Mad Mardigan again,
on his
lying in the
deathbed,
bed,
yeah.
and have Willow standing over him, holding his hand or something, saying goodbye. I mean, what a freaking powerful opening.
That's all we want. Yeah.
Make the good. He's still there. There's no reason not to do this. None. But you know what? It's Lucasfilm, and they fuck everything up.
Or you know what? You even make his death heroic by having whatever the main antagonist is show up, and Mad Mardigan sacrifices himself to save everybody else.
We can't even get little people in Willow.
I know, right? No shit. No, I've seen a whole total of 3 or 4 little people in the entire fucking trailer.
How stupid is this show looking? I mean, it's like, wait, why am I looking at a trailer that looks like Lord of the Rings? Why? Don't even get me started.
And considering some of those people are still alive from the original film, some are not. I get it. Some of the little people have passed, sadly.
There are lots of other folks that can fill these roles.
But I can't remember the actor's name, but the little black guy from like the Bad Santa movies and shit like that. He was in the first Willow. There was a few other people. Yeah, there's a few other people that are still alive that were in there. I mean, sadly we lost the actor who played his best friend and all that kind of shit in there, I think, and a couple of the other people like Billy Barty and the other warrior guy, Migosh.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, that actor killed himself. But yeah, like, I mean, there's still quite a few of them left to where they could have brought him in at least to have a small role. Maybe they are in there, and no pun intended on the small role.
Davis doesn't know a bunch of friends that could come in and do this. I mean,
it's like Disney doesn't like little people or something. And then you look at the trailer, and they've clearly Jake Skywalkered Willow. That's what really bothered me most of all. Like, of everything, it's like, is this your constant fucking thing you're going to do to all these classic characters?
Everybody's deconstructed. Everybody's a sad sack of shit. Everybody's a loser now. It's been years, and they've sunk into a dismal depression.
So sick
Fuck
of that
all this stuff. Look, and I'm sorry. And it's like, this is we've talked about this to death. This is what's going on with Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's the same fucking story. It's paint by numbers bullshit. It's just terrible. And I keep laughing because I've had guests on my show. I've had other people I've talked to that have teenage kids like I do. And they're telling me, oh yeah, I mean, I've got daughters. This was Michelle from Force of Light, and they're like, oh yeah, all the teenagers that I know, all the girls, they're on TikTok. All they're talking about right now is Stranger Things and Top Gun. And that's it. That's it. I said, no Obi-Wan. Nope. Driving home, one of my teenage daughters tonight, who's obviously also on TikTok. I said, what's all over TikTok right now? She's like, oh, everybody's talking about Stranger Things. And everybody's talking about all the hot guys on Top Gun. I said, is anybody talking about Obi-Wan? She's like, what's that? I'm like, yep, that's the problem. I'm like, Disney just doesn't know how to bring in the new audiences. They just keep trashing stuff because they don't have anybody there that's actually leading the charge to like, let's actually make a good story. Let's make a good property. We own some of the most valuable classic IPs in human history. And we don't know what the fuck to do with them. It's incredible to me. It's fucking incredible.
I can tell you exactly what to do. You get 2 or 3 people who are diehard fucking fans who know this shit inside and out, and you get one person who isn't necessarily a fan, but is really good at storytelling and structure and stuff like that, right? And you put those 4 people together, 3 or 4 people together, and you let them make a fucking show or a movie for you. That's how you fix these things. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
You just need a Nicholas Meyer type to kind of guide people through, well, this is how storytelling works. This is how this works, blah, 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 blah. What can we do with that? And then, you just need them there to say, yeah, this is how this works, and give them ideas and work up a group of people. You don't need 10 fucking writers. That's the other problem. There's too many fucking writers in these writers' rooms. That's to me.
There's too many staff writers in these rooms.
Yeah, and it's the same. Star Trek Discovery is a glaring example, right? Where you have 20 some fucking people listed as executive producers. They're all listed because they're actually writers in the writers' room and shit like that. That's how many people are working on this crap. So, but Six just sent me on the Peter Rice thing before we lose you here, Valiant, because I know you're limited on time.
Yeah, I gotta get running.
We got a memo from Peter Rice. So let's check this out real quick. Peter Rice sends last memo to staff after Disney ouster. I am incredibly sad. He's sad. The memo reads as follows. Hi, everyone. I'm incredibly sad that this will be the last weekend read that I will be sending you. It has been such a pleasure and a privilege to work alongside each of you here at Disney and many of you at 21st Century Fox. Why are they still calling it Fox? I thought they took that off the title. I'm so proud of the work that we have done together, the friendships we have forged, and the consistent success we have celebrated. We have the honor of working in the world's greatest and most creative industry at the time of enormous change. In the midst of this, together we have created amazing and award-winning television shows, and I'm eternally grateful for your kindness and generosity on the journey. As I depart Disney, may I leave you with one last thought. Remain committed to excellence and always recognize that our stories are dependent upon imagination and artistry of the writers, directors, producers, actors, and craftsmen that we have engaged to call Disney home. Go away. It has been so much fun to collaborate with them to bring their ideas to life. So while I no longer will be riding alongside you, I wish you happy trails and hope that our paths will cross again. Warmly with gratitude, Peter. Okay, that was a lot of nonsensical nothing. So what did this guy do here? What is his big claim to fame, Valiant?
Peter Rice?
Yes.
I mean, he was around at Fox for a while. He's been in Hollywood for a long time. He has presided over some of the really most well-received developments over his tenure at Fox in terms of film and television. You can go look at the list on Wikipedia if you like. But the thing with Peter Rice is that, he's a executive board member of one of the big, super duper woke CRT equity / Marxist organizations in Hollywood, and he was largely responsible for a lot of the stuff that you see, the kind of stuff we all sit here on places like Midnight's Edge and complain about that's wrong in Hollywood, with poor story writing, poor scripting, and just injecting.
Was the timing of this have anything to do with Ms. Marvel's release or Obi-Wan's release or anything like that? Or
no, this largely had to do with the last 2 months of going on at Disney. And it was the fact that he was trying to position himself to the board. And I'll talk about this with Pro later, but he was trying to position himself. He was, I believe, making a lot of maneuvers to have Chapek ousted and him put in charge of Disney as CEO. Okay? So, and that is why Chapek, with the authorization of the board, basically just put a sword through him today. So we'll go into more detail.
Very interesting. Well, thanks for that, Six. And we had a couple super chats here. DCV Titan, thank you so much for that. It says Star Wars Vision shows that Star Wars is still a viable franchise. As long as Disney is kept as far away as fucking possible. Screw the mouse. Yeah, I'm sure Star Wars is savable. Of a lot of them, it probably is. Unfortunately, they've destroyed a lot of what was Star Wars, but I'm not saying there isn't a possible, possible way to fix it, but as is right now at Disney, it's not likely. Then we got Nikki D here who says, "Is there any truth to rumors of a second season for Obi-Wan? I've been hearing about this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was more just rumors to try and drum up interest in the first season or not, but Valiant or Klobby, I don't know if you guys have heard anything more than I have. I just heard the basic rumors that they're talking about it.
Basic rumors. I mean, to me, it's like, oh yeah, we're definitely making Wonder Woman 3.
Wow, Wonder Woman 3 will happen probably before Obi-Wan season 2, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm like almost convinced Wonder Woman 3 is, when they said they're fast tracking it, they weren't kidding. Like that I heard is a real.
Well, my only point is that that's the kind of story, and Tom knows this. I'm saying this for the audience, but I mean, this is the kind of story you throw out to try to give your existing property that's in front of people right now a buzz to go watch it. Right?
It's true in most cases.
Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But if Disney actually thinks that they seriously want to pump $100 million down a Reva show, dude, here's my answer to that. Go for it.
Go for it.
Please.
Go for it. And please make us
do it. Oh, please do it.
No, but on the Wonder Woman,
P. Hard. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What about Picard?
I say like the desperation they did with P. Hard season 2 was halfway through, and they show a trailer for season 3 because
well, you know what I heard about that was that they lost that. Yeah, they booted out some of those people because they were trying to avoid bringing in TNG people, and I can't remember the guy who came in. He's like, the first thing he said is, "Well, the fans just want to see the TNG crew." So that was Welcome Back 6, who was rebooting. Even though
it's going to be horrible, that's what they want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Here's what I've heard about Wonder Woman 3. I heard that was actually true, that they are fast tracking it for 2 reasons. One of which, they want to wash the taste of Wonder Woman 2 out of everybody's mouth. 2, I heard that they weren't too happy about the whole thing with her signing up with Disney to do Star Wars.
Wow. Because
she is contracted for Wonder Woman 3, and they already let her go off to do Cleopatra.
Right.
I just,
for Sony,
for the record,
that's what I heard.
I would be happy
to
have the taste of Wonder Woman and have nobody wash it out.
I
don't know about Wonder Woman 2 though. That was some pretty nasty tasting shit.
You know what?
That was some worst sloppy seconds I ever had in my life.
Gal Gadot. I'm gonna stop now.
Gal Gadot was one thing, but that movie was shit.
Oh no, the movie was terrible, no doubt. But
and Bast might be right about this too, and I think that's another reason why it's happening, because I think it's the last of the movies under contract.
Probably
so they're getting it out of the way.
I think didn't she have a fiver?
Yeah, but I think 2 of those were the Justice League and BBS.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think her fiver was Batman, Superman, Justice League, Wonder Woman 1, 2, and now 3 would be the 5th one. Yeah,
the end of it. Yep.
I thought she had a fiver. Yeah.
Yep. Dash Attack says Mark Hamill January 6th tweet tonight might make me glad I prefer Anakin. What a childish old man, Sebastian Stan.
Oh, that was horrible.
I don't even want to get into this January 6th stuff.
You don't. That was terrible.
Yep. Get ready for the gaslighting, folks, from your friendly government.
Mark Hamill's an idiot.
As soon as you had a bunch of lefties going out there saying, I have to watch this fucking thing, I knew that it was going to be nothing but a fucking horse and pony show.
This is, and I know we don't do politics here, but just to answer the super chat, just very succinctly from a purely business and educational perspective, everything you're seeing right now with these January 6th hearings, this is just all media and political fodder during a midterm election year.
Indeed.
This is the best hope that a certain political party thinks that they have right now. This is what they're going to hang their hat on.
I was going to compare it to Russiagate, but I didn't want to go to that point. But
look, honestly, I am thrilled for it because it is going to be such a shit show. These people are so disconnected with reality. They live.
I hope you're right, Valiant.
Just like the Hollywood people, they live in bubbles. Right? They live in bubbles, and I think from a purely analytical numbers perspective, I think it is going to be a fascinating midterm year.
I don't even know. I don't really want to give it the breath, unfortunately, or the air, however you want to put it.
No, I mean, what was the worst crime? Somebody took a picture behind Pelosi's desk with their feet on it and took a MacBook. I mean, come on. Let's get serious.
I'm not going to get into it because, like I said, the whole politics thing is what it is. It's like, okay, fine. If you're going to hold people responsible for that, then why not hold all these people responsible for the shit they burned down for an entire summer?
Exactly. I was going to say, you living in Wisconsin, you know better than anybody that what actual legitimate violence looks like. I mean, I grew up in New Orleans. Trust me, I know what actual legitimate violence looks like. January 6th, I'm sorry.
What the fuck did I say? And I don't know if you were part of that Valiant, but I was on comics, I think, when I said it. I'm like, look, wait till they try to pull this shit in Wisconsin. It ain't gonna go well. What the fuck happened? Exactly what I fucking said was gonna happen. Somebody is gonna get fucking shot.
Yep.
End of discussion. Because they're just not gonna put up with it.
Nope.
We don't around here. We live in an area where it is quiet. We like it quiet. It's Mayberry.
Exactly. And I think like when you saw some of these folks that talked about, oh, we're going to go into the suburban areas and the residential neighborhoods, you notice they never did it because at the end they knew, and even a lot of the police and the sheriffs were speaking up. They were like, you best not. And there were even chiefs of police and sheriffs out there going, y'all got guns in your house, load them. I mean,
well, and there's a reason why we've been able to keep some of the gang violence down to the southern part of the state too, because they don't fuck around with a lot of the quote unquote good old boys up here. Because I'm not joking when I say Wisconsin is the south of the north,
but it's not just good old boys.
No, I know, but I say that in a general term of like, we're just a bunch of quiet folks. But if you want to raise a fuss, we're not above defending ourselves and or bringing shit to order. Right.
Exactly.
Like, it's just not the way we deal with things, especially when it comes to fucking with our families or our livelihoods.
No. And and that's just it. It's like, hey, look, folks, you really want a reality check. You're welcome to one. I mean,
it's another reason why they didn't do it in a lot of the southern states too, I'm sure.
No, there's certain areas,
certain areas and such, exactly.
Like that, right. But they stayed inside that area, and I mean, I can definitely tell you up in some rural areas where they tried some of this stuff, the sides of the highways were lined with sheriff's deputies, and it's like, look, you can march up and down and protest all you want. God bless you. Have a nice night. The minute you start stepping on private property, it's your ass.
Look who decided to show up.
Right when I have to leave, of course.
Well, it wasn't it's not on purpose. I got home.
Just fucking excuses, blah, 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 blah.
I got home. Yeah, me too. I got home from work. I took a shower.
Welcome,
I turned on my mic to say hi, and I get yelled at.
Don't extend him pleasantries, 6.
I don't want to.
I'm glad you're here,
No,
Culture.
it's just
it's
excuses,
nice to
excuses. Look, I got to run, but I'm going to say this before I have to get out. We have 202 likes on the stream. That's great, but we have 510 watching, so we can do a whole lot better. Please, right now, for the 500 folks watching, if everybody watching right now that has not yet already, please smash that like button, hit that share button, hit the notification bell for Midnight's Edge After Dark, and make sure after the stream is over that you drop a comment post-production on the stream, because that's a big help after the stream is over to let YouTube know that people are still talking about the stream. And come on by tomorrow, Valiant Renegade, and we're gonna have a really in-depth teardown that I'm gonna put out tomorrow morning. I've got to go get on with WDW Pro in a few minutes to record this Peter Rice story with Disney, because we got some fun shit to talk about.
All right. Well, you have fun with that.
Hey, the Dana Walden side of things is going to be something juicy, let me tell you.
Well, yeah, when you take down the Kingpin, you got to replace him with somebody, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
As long as that somebody becomes more compliant, that's fine.
Yeah, well, she's grade A activist material, but all right.
Well, before we do that, get into anything else here. Clobbering also has to leave us.
Yeah, good to see you, Culture. So I was passing each other there, man. I got the show, getting ready for the show tonight. So.
Oh, that's right. All right, brother. Good to see you.
Well, we're going to be wrapping it up pretty soon anyway, but since Culture just showed up, I got to chastise him for a while. So thank you for being here, Clobby and Valiant.
Bobby.
Take care.
VR, good to see you.
Take
And
care, guys.
6, lovely to see you. And thank you, Tom.
Love you
both. I hope to talk to you again soon, Culture. You take care, man.
Sounds good, brother.
Take care.
And this is what I have to say to Culture's excuses.
I don't believe you.
And I have this
You're
for
fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
My hair is wet. I'm in the dark.
You're in the dark.
Turn the light
It's like
on.
you're. Who shot that? The Deborah Chow?
No,
I want to
it's
see wet Culture.
It's Ed Wood.
Ed Wood would make sure we could see it.
I don't know. Look, just figure you're watching a.
No, I'm
kaiju
talking
film.
about fucking. No, okay. I'm not going to sit here and pick on Obi-Wan. But seriously, you cannot see a fucking thing in this show.
All right.
Like, the cinematography is horrible. I'm taking screenshots for Andre's review. And I can't even tell what's in the screenshots. They're that dark.
That's when you have to manipulate the curves thing on your editor to, like, bring down.
It's just the way it's shot.
Maybe you should change the settings on your TV.
It's color. The color correction was impeccably done, would be my guess. But
I mean, I'm sure this is going to come up differently on other people's screens, but I'll show you a few examples here. Like when he meets up with the Jedi. Or shit, even this is that. Here's him running around with Leia. You can barely even fucking make anything out in this shit either. And this is actually, there's actually some light. This is actually in the city. Look at how dark that is.
That's very dark.
Doesn't he?
That's
look
him in
like
the cave.
Every single one of these makes him look like he's a heroin addict. Jeez, I'm so glad I'm not watching this show.
I don't even know what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah, that's your TV, Tom.
No, it is not. This is me taking screenshots.
I didn't have a problem.
Because you might actually have the bright cranked up on your TV like I do too. Or the contrast. But like, here's my favorite one is when he's talking to the Jedi in the dark. You can't fucking see a goddamn thing.
Well, he's in the dark.
I know,
Why
but
am I
like, you don't have to
defending
shoot
the
it that
show?
way.
I have no idea.
Because it reminds me of how Solo was shot too. It's like they smudged shit on the camera so you can't see anything.
Oh, that was a shitty movie.
I mean, you can pretend it's still dark and you can't see anything by just giving it a blue hue.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of filters you could drop in there. You can drop a lot of stuff.
I just needed to gripe about that for 5 minutes.
That's fine, but you can drop a lot of different things on top of shots that are fully lit, and, and make it. You can shoot day for night. I mean,
Well, I prefer not doing day for night, but there's ways of making it look like you're in the moonlight and stuff like that. At least.
See, and I think that's an artifact.
Right? It's like I'm not seeing it as a blessing, Tom.
Nah, but that could be. Here's one of the things. So there's some real weirdness when you're shooting in a stagecraft set. You have a projected ambiance above you, some kind of a sky. There's screens over you that are projecting imagery, and I mean that could be influencing what the camera is shooting if they're shooting in in that kind of thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much all I had for tonight. I mean, there really wasn't much else to go on. Did you go see the Jurassic movie Culture?
No. I
Six saw it. She enjoyed it.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Does it have a suspicious number of women in it?
No. Why?
Well,
the dinosaurs are ladies.
There you go.
Well,
you know what? I actually asked her. I said because I just watched the original one last night, and Laura, I forgot how much Laura Dern brought up all the feminist shit in the movie. I'm like, oh god, yeah, she was uber feminist in this first movie.
Yeah.
And I asked Six, and she's like, she doesn't bring it up once in the new one.
Well, she doesn't have to. It's all there on screen, and they shot for shot the upside down vehicle thing from the first film to the second film.
Well, how many women were in the first movie?
Well, if you count the little girl, 2.
Yeah. So you've got Laura Dern, she came back. You've got another little girl. And then you've got a love interest. And then the female pilot who wasn't... She was kind of like the female pilot in Top Gun. She could have been a man, and she just happened to be a woman. I didn't...
Yeah, Top Gun.
I didn't see it.
I haven't seen anything at all. That's why I was asking, is I haven't seen it, so I'm not even going to evaluate it. But some of the takeaways from some of the reviewers early on were disturbing to me. That it seemed rather pointless, paint by numbers, and at times you laughed when you probably shouldn't have been laughing. So But
Yeah,
I'm glad
you can
enjoyed it.
you can find problems in anything. So.
Oh, indeed.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I
didn't.
That's why I'm
Well,
asking your opinion, is because I
look,
wanted
Six
to
went to
see
the
that
theater to
stuff.
have fun. She had fun. That's
Good.
really what counts. I mean,
Yes.
I mean,
if
it
you
was no
told-
Top Gun. Don't get me wrong, but it was good.
Okay.
Top Gun was great.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, if
Well,
I'm
you took
gonna
your
go-
mom. You said Six. Did she enjoy it too?
Yeah, she really liked it. Yeah, she
see-
loves the Jurassic Park movies.
So if I go and stuff my face with popcorn for 2 hours, I'm gonna leave there going.
It's 2.5 hours, but yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Gosh,
Yeah, it was
everything's
2.5.
too long now.
I know. What is this with this 2.5 hour? Everything's got to be 2.5 hours now.
Too long.
What the fuck?
Too long.
Not everything's a
even left
goddamn
before
Godfather.
I
Sorry,
even left
Six.
before the credits ended.
Did you
'Cause-
really?
I don't even know if there would be any end credit scenes because I think this is set up to be the last one.
Yeah,
So.
I didn't really care if there was. I thought, well, it'll be on YouTube later if there is. I
Right.
didn't want to be late for your show, but turns out didn't have to worry
Yeah.
about that one.
Well, Tom was having a crisis.
I feel bad. I really feel bad. I mean, I was racing. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's fine. I was just like, I was supposed to go see Top Gun and Jurassic World today, and it just didn't work out.
Tom's on his period, so
I am on my period.
It's like a yeariad. Isn't there like a birth control where you get a yeariad? I don't know.
what's a period?
I have
You get
no
your period
idea.
for a year?
No, you just get it for once a year.
Oh.
I don't know. I
I think that's when you're on the shot or something like that, but that's like not anything to do with this show.
Oh, it's not.
No.
I don't know.
I
I'm
am
a virgin,
menstruating. Yes, menstruating. Yes, men.
Men.
Nikki D says, how much will the Kenobi show and other future MCU projects help Disney Plus reach its goal of 230 plus million subscribers by 2024? I love Culture's laugh there. So how is Miss Marvel helping them out here, Culture?
Not a lot, and it's aimed at kids. From the takeaway there.
It's being review bombed.
Yeah. No.
Have either of you watched it?
No, I'm not
No.
watching. I am done. I'm done. I am officially.
I don't want to
done
have to
with
sit there
Marvel
and
Star
pick on a
Wars.
kid.
Done. And I'm not gonna pick on the kid because from all reports.
That's why I won't pick on Leia either in the new show. It's like I'm not going to pick on a kid.
Yeah, from all reports, she does a pretty decent job of playing a super fan in the first 2 episodes of Miss Marvel, which is exactly how she got the job as a Marvel super fan. And she apparently does a good job at that. And from what Cameron Posh has been saying, it feels very much like a Pakistani family. So I'm like, all right, if anybody in the world would know, he'd know. The thing is, I ain't watching it. I'm not gonna. So my opinion isn't worth anything if I'm not watching it. I mean, all I know is its performance, and
Unless Andre says I have to, I don't know if I will either.
I just don't know. Look, I just don't see. I don't see the upside of these derivative characters.
Well, the big question though was, are they going to be able to generate the amount of subscribers that they're hoping for?
No.
And Culture, that's something you keep your finger on the pulse of quite
All the
often.
time. Yeah, and it's here's the thing. Okay, there's a bigger barricade to that whole idea of them getting to 260 million subscribers or whatever their top end guess was. And that is this: they are deadlocked in a duel with 3 other or 4, possibly 4 other entities for the IPL, which is the India Premier League cricket. That's the big thing, right? That's on Disney Hotstar. See, they got Hotstar when they acquired Fox, right? Now, the thing about Hotstar is it owned the rights to this IPL. Well, the IPL rights have become incredibly valuable now. You're talking about $2 billion plus easy in rights to get them for the next 5 years. So Disney is competing with Sony, Reliant Group, another party I can't bring into resident memory, and Amazon for these streaming rights. So if any of these entities, let's say Sony decides to get serious about this, or Amazon specifically, because they're trying to bring in live sports, you don't think they would jump at the chance to have the live cricket that they steal away from their primary rival right now? Of course they would. So, and it's this is a transparent auction for these rights. No, nobody cares.
You said crickets.
Oh, sorry. But the whole point, the whole point of this rant or this tangent is
no, if I wanted to shut you up, I'd just give you the
whole point of the tangent is this. You're going to lose 30 million subscribers in India if you don't retain those rights. That's how big cricket is over there.
Well, and the other side of this I see is if Netflix is losing the amount of subscribers they are, I got to imagine that is affecting all the streaming services across the board.
Churns up big. I did a video on that.
Everything churn.
Indeed, and it's at an accelerated rate now. It's elevated since the end of 2021. You've seen an increase in churn month over month, quarter over quarter. You're going to continue to see that. Disney has the biggest churn month coming up in August. Every single August for the last 2.5, 3 years. Well, I guess this will be the third August. When August comes up, they lose a bunch of subs, or they have to replace subs that they were going to lose. This August is going to be that tick. White Knight says culture isn't understating this. Cricket is major in India. It is.
They love to eat crickets there, I guess.
No.
It's a sport. I get it. It's a joke, dude. Jesus.
I don't know, man. Sometimes with you,
No, I'm always joking unless I'm being serious.
No, I know. What? Okay, anyway.
That clears it up.
Thanks.
That's exactly me. I'm always joking unless I'm being serious.
Yeah, well, here's the literally this is 30-40 million subscribers they could potentially lose as Disney Plus, which they were the ones who remember when they had that big jump? They had that big jump when they rolled the Hotstar people into Disney Plus.
Yeah, and then I don't see them hitting this 230. That's almost insurmountable.
No, well, I mean, okay, so we've seen the granddaddy of them all hit the wall, right? Netflix is also.
How many do they have now?
It's still well over 200 million.
I was going to say, like 200 million is almost like the ceiling for most of these.
And it absolutely will be. And the thing is, most people aren't going to maintain more than one or possibly two streaming services. Streaming services are a luxury, and we are in a recession, which will be confirmed here in not a whole lot of more days.
Well, you ain't got nothing but shit jobs out there, and you got a bunch of kids who don't want to fucking work. As you can see from my fucking video I posted on Twitter about Taco Bell.
What did you post?
Oh, he was a little...
Oh, I was pissed. I was in the drive-thru for 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
And there was at least no less than 6 people working. And the fucking manager, her excuse was, well, the chalupa got stuck in the thing and we're short-staffed and nobody wants to work.
That's true.
And I'm like, you got 6 people there. I used to close a Taco Bell with 3 employees every night. Never a problem. There's 6 fucking people standing around doing jack all.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there saying nobody. That to me sounds like a generational thing.
Don't get me there, because then I'm going to sound like the old man.
I'm to the point where I'm ready to get a hold of the fucking, like, don't be surprised, guys, if I get a hold of the fucking district manager and I'm like, I got a fucking part-time job managing a fucking Taco Bell soon. Because I can't believe this shit. 6 people working there and they can't get shit done. 20 minutes for 2 items. Two items.
I don't think you'll get past the sensitivity training, but okay.
Oh, I'll fuck them all up. They close off the drive. Yeah, that's the other best part, 6. There's nothing but drive-through after like 8 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even go to Taco Bell until after 4 p.m. because nobody in my town wants to get a motherfucking job.
That's what they keep saying, but I don't know. We have the same problem here. They're supposed to be open till like 2 a.m. They're closed sometimes at like 9, 7. Just depends on whenever they're just going to decide to close.
Yeah. Well, that problem is going to solve itself.
You know what it is? Because I actually talked to a guy who owns a restaurant, and he goes, they're fucking lazy. They don't want to work. He goes, I was interviewing a kid the other day. The interview was going great until he goes, I don't want to do dishes. And he's like, well, a big part of the job is doing dishes. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. Plus, you had...
What are these people living on?
The government tit.
The government. I'm sick and tired of a lot.
It's
of it.
these little shits that are pushing me over to the right. I'm sorry. I don't get into politics, but that's where I'm going with this shit.
Well,
my kid's one of them.
You and Valiant.
They're lazy
like
little fuckers.
On.
I'm sorry. I'm sure there's some great kids out there. Don't get me wrong. And this is my kid included. A lot of them are lazy as fuck. My kid is one of the most laziest fucking kids I've ever met in my life. Like he is. And they're all like this. They don't want to do anything. They expect everything to be handed to them. I love my child, but I've tried to get him to do something. But if it doesn't have anything to do with a video game, he don't care.
Yeah.
These kids are in their phones. That's what all these kids were at Taco Bell. They were all on their fucking phones. I wish I took pictures. I was pissed that I didn't. I was too afraid to take video of the person that I was talking to because I wasn't even sure if she was 18.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. So she's a manager running this store at night, supposedly. And she didn't look like a day over 16.
Well, you didn't burn a bridge and to the point where you can't go there again, did you?
I don't give a fuck if they're never the same people working there. The daytime people, they know me, they're cool. There's like 3 people that work during the day that I know that are pretty cool.
So
at nighttime, though, it turns into
Taco Bell.
Some of them. I don't know them personally, but they know me well enough and whatnot to where, like, you know, we chit chat in the drive-thru and they love my shirts and all that kind of stuff. And there's one guy that works there is roughly my age and stuff like that. So we can chit chat while I'm waiting for my food. But during the day, they seem to be pretty efficient. You get past 5 o'clock at night and it's like the kids are running the fucking store.
Yeah, that's not great. But Tom, I would encourage you to start eating at home. You can make some nice, healthy.
I have been. I made tacos at home.
Yeah, you can make some nice, healthy options. And
like pizza.
Healthy options. You know, I really feel like I'm going to have to come up to Wisconsin and spend 2 weeks with you, getting you all set up on how to eat, how to take care of food, how to follow.
I've already had a bunch of people trying to do that for me.
Follow Polly's workout regimen. You know,
I have a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
You are your own worst enemy.
I am my own worst enemy. This is true.
Yeah. Yeah. But I joined a stream with wet hair. That's how badly I wanted to.
And I'm ranting about teenage kids.
Yeah.
And chat is judging
assumed.
you for your Taco Bell habits.
Hey, a lot of them are on my side. See, like Austin Wood's like that day crew's legit, but that fucking night crew, exactly.
Can you?
And I used to work night crew.
Me, please?
I have no control here at all.
What?
Yeah, do that. Brush it again, culture.
Brush the hair.
She likes watching. Do women really like watching men brush their hair? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Don't
Maybe
talk.
it is.
Yeah, exactly. White knight. Definition of food: something with cheese and meat.
Well,
That's the Wisconsin way. Yes.
Look, I hate having wet hair. By the way, I mean, it's just.
It looks
don't
sexy.
you own a blow dryer?
Oh, I don't. Oh,
that'll ruin his hair.
Yeah. What are you talking about? You want to make your hair? You want to wreck your hair?
He knows more about hair than I'll ever know.
Yeah,
I think I know about hair.
I'm serious. You can cause serious damage to your hair with a hairdryer. You know, especially if you apply any kind of heat. Right?
You know what's funny is I didn't hardly lose anybody through that fucking rant.
Yeah, well.
How about do you have a towel?
Yeah, I used the towel, but then I was hustling to
Why
get
don't you
here.
use a cold setting on the? Don't you have like a cold shot?
Oh, I'll do that
setting
if I need to like blow dry my beard.
I
Yeah,
guarantee
I'll
you, Grand Admiral Adam, if Ryan and I ended up going to Taco Bell together, they'd probably end up calling in the SWAT team to deal with us.
Yeah, there would be a murder. I have a feeling
something would happen that would be very, very, very bad. I'm sure something would get blown up.
I'm a big Taco Bell fan.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
They have a black bean.
That's racist.
Thing.
Oh, so you're the reason I keep getting asked that.
Asked what?
Why would I want just black beans in my fucking food? I want meats.
They put beans, I think, and lettuce in there, and it's good.
I know, I'm just picking on you.
Grandpa.
I'm my own grandpa. I love that movie. It's so bad, it's good. Nicholas Horton says the animated Camp Cretaceous show on Netflix, I almost said Nickelodeon, its final season releasing this July has stuff in it that links to Jurassic World Dominion. Well, I've heard fairly decent things about the show. Of course, I've been told it's very kid-oriented, of course, too. But hey, I haven't checked it out myself, but I always see the toys at the store, so. Jed Raybold says, Tom, question from Tuesday's show. Was the writer of Top Gun's articles freelance writer or employer of the magazine? Maybe something script could mention the difference. I don't think it matters because they option the story regardless. I think it'd be different. The fact that he wrote it and he was the one that was attached to it, the magazine, I don't think has anything to do with it. I get what you're saying here, like a work for hire situation, but it was his story to begin with, or their story, or whatever, the brother's story or whatever it was. So I don't think that'll matter, but I still think that the whole thing's going to get tossed. So I think the movie was done in time. So I think Paramount got lucky on that part. But yes, let's, what do you guys say? You want to wrap this up, or was there something else? I heard about Quartering getting swatted. That was bullshit, man.
Yeah, but he's back at it today, stealing my content. You know, my video that was first published this morning, you know, about Elon.
You gotta love Jeremy.
He's finally getting, you know, Elon Musk is finally getting access to the fire hose that is the Twitter.
I'm probably closer to him than any other YouTuber, and yet we've never met. I don't probably live that far away from him.
Well, don't dox him.
Well, everybody already knows.
Everybody knows where he lives.
I don't know where he lives.
All right. Well, apparently whoever doxed him knows.
And then, like, the next closest person is probably either Nick or Odin.
Nick.
Then maybe 6.
Maybe I'm closer than you think.
I know you're not that far, but you're not, like,
look out your window.
Oh. That's you? I always wondered who that weird chick was.
She's not weird.
That explains the headset.
Ouch.
Hey, I actually just updated my credits video.
I live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Grand Admiral Adam. That's the problem, is I'm like too far from anything good.
I'm listening culture.
Yeah,
Hey, don't give him respect right now. He was late.
This is the dynamic between Tom and I.
Who else was late, Tom?
It's my show. I don't care.
Yeah, he was late. Yeah, it said so in the chat that I was in. I'm like,
Culture's like really late. Like he came like way late.
Chat, I told him to post something in the community tab to let y'all know what was going on.
Tom was having an existential crisis.
Tom was changing his tampon and had
It's not totally wrong.
Wouldn't that be a man pawn?
But we
kind of.
But we worked through it, and here we are all together.
So how was that 4th episode of Obi-Wan?
That sucked.
I did watch the Orville. That was pretty good. I liked this 2nd episode better than I did the first Orville episode. That was pretty good. How are you doing on the Orville? I know you were trying to catch up 6.
I'm on episode 2 of season 1.
Oh, so you're not too far, but
yeah,
I'm getting there. Like the 3rd, 4th episode is where it really hit its stride.
I'm so far behind on it. I'll catch up by the time the show is done airing. So
yeah, because Loki does every Friday morning. He's doing a review of the Orville, and so I've been trying to get caught up.
Yeah,
and the fact that I'm only on the 2nd episode of season 1 makes me think it's just not going to happen.
Was
Hi, Steven.
Was Mike here?
No.
You'll save your stubs. What's your stubs?
His stuff.
What stuffs?
He's got some stuffs.
What's he going to save?
Some stuffs.
Like a hero?
I don't know, but I'm asking a question here.
What was your question?
Was Mexican Iron Man here? Was Mike here?
No, he had to deal with a client. He's been a big enough hero this week. I gave him the night off.
All right.
I need a hero.
Been holding out for a hero.
To the end of the night.
He's got to be strong and he's got to be brave.
He's
got to be larger than life.
Got a big
I
dick.
need a hero. What?
Do do.
I don't think that's in the lyrics.
Do do.
Well, maybe you might be right.
Where are all the good men gone and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to defy the rising odds? I need a white knight, something, 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 something. I'm sorry, Jim Steinman. Late at night, I toss and I turn and I dream of what I need. Mr. Hire on for me, please. Thank you. I need a hero.
Yay! What are you going to sing for the last round, Culture?
Yeah.
This is not karaoke.
We lost like 40 fucking people.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing. I have to go because
we're gonna wrap this up anyway.
Yeah, I got comics division's on. Tom better be there. We're talking about.
Oh shit, comics is tonight, ain't
Tom's got stuff to work on.
Nah, he's coming over to comics.
Did Andre send me work? I can't remember.
We're gonna be talking about this Disney dust up today.
Dust up. I do have some work to do, but I'll see if I'll show up.
We're gonna talk.
Did we see the new Thor teaser trailer? There's a new one.
I don't know. Did we?
Oh Lord. Probably
it's
a TV
hard
spot
to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror. I get better looking each day.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Thor, Love,
I started
and
singing.
Thunder.
Well, I don't know that song. It sounds almost country.
It is. It's not almost. It's very. Let's see. Two days ago, final trailer. No, that's not it. 2 days ago, final trailer 3. What is happening? Oh, is it like the teaser that goes along with the tickets are on sale?
What?
Because the pre-sales for the film.
For what?
Thor, Cuck and Blunder.
I have no idea.
Oh, I saw him get his clothes blown off. Or was that in a previous?
There's one from 2 days ago. That's
Was
the
that
same
from
trailer.
Yeah, I think they're all the. I don't know.
And the
Oh yeah,
women pass
here's
out?
one from yesterday.
Yeah, it's the tickets on sale trailer probably.
Yeah, it looks like it. We can probably throw it up here quick. Why not?
It's
30 seconds. It's a TV
why not?
spot. Looks a lot like the same shit we've seen already, but
How are we doing, guys?
We're all about to die. You said this would be a relaxing holiday.
I said it was going to be like a relaxing holiday.
Times like this, we need to come together.
Quite a reunion, huh?
What a classic Thor adventure. Okay, we should go.
Thor, Love, and Thunder. Tickets on sale Monday.
Sure.
Yeah, I saw that at Jurassic Park today.
Okay. More of the same, pretty much.
By Grapthar's Hammer.
Thor, Stolen Thunder. Can't wait.
Yeah.
You know what's cooler?
No.
My T-shirt.
Oh!
Number 5, Alive.
Yeah, you have Johnny 5 and
Wally.
Yeah. That's what's cooler. And I think we're going to wrap this up.
Wrap it up. I'll take
like
it.
a condom.
Wrap it up in a bow.
Oh.
Yeah. Take care of yourself, kids. I'm sure I'll see you on the morning show tomorrow if I don't make it anywhere else tonight. Yeah. I like turtles. Anybody else got anything coming up? Culture?
I love
6?
turtles.
I dropped 4 videos this week. 2 of them did good. 2 of them took a nap.
Check them out.
I don't know why. Oh, and the Culture DIY channel dropped a second video. So there you go.
What are you doing yourself now?
I
Culture
didn't get a
builds.
notification.
Yeah, nudification. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that on that channel.
Nudification?
No. Yeah, I built a custom or a bespoke redwood trellis. Basically, walk you through the steps of doing it so that it's sturdy for your patio or your garden area.
And then Douglas has presented us with some lovely Obi-Wan art.
It's very dark.
It is very dark. So it fits the aesthetic.
Mr.
You can barely see Obi-Wan there.
I love it.
It looks so sad.
Sweet child.
I need a little blue pill.
I didn't see anybody else saying that the show was dark.
Oh, a few people have mentioned it.
Oh, okay.
It's really starting to bug me.
I don't care.
It is, because I'm watching it in 4K HDR and everything like that, and it's still too dark. I'm like, what the fuck? Craziness. Looks like Paulie's doing a screening over on his channel, so you can check that out. Otherwise, Comics is going to be going live here if he hasn't already. And with that, yeah, I think we're out of here.
Fuck this shit.